Democratic deficit hawks got plucked today. That story topping tonight's 2-minute drill. We welcome our panel. Ron Kurtz rejoins us, as does Monica Crowley. And joining us now is attorney Kelly Saindon. Good to see Kelly. Fire up the clock. 4 Democrats who want their party to cut spending went ahead and found nearly $1.5 billion worth of cuts from add-ons to the president's budget. Now, they didn't get a pat on the back from their fellow Democrats. In fact, the 4 deficit hawks got treated to a, quote, out-of-body experience by Budget Chairman David Obey. And now they're pulling their plan to cut spending. So how can the Democrats claim they're cutting the deficit when something like this happens?
Well, and these 4, first of all, they should be given big kudos for trying to actually cut spending, which is what the American people want. 3 of these 4 Democrats are in swing districts, and their poll numbers do not look good. Why? Because American people are fed up with this out-of-control spending. But what's even more important here is that senior appropriators, Democrats, said, not only are we not entertaining this, you got to pull the whole amendment. So these guys didn't even have a chance.
Credibility in terms of really wanting to cut the budget is pretty low right now.
I think it is for frankly all of Congress, and it makes me sad that when you see money, trying to be cut and we can't make it happen, it's a tough situation.
So what do we do?
I mean, honestly, I think November is going to be very interesting. I've talked about it before on the show. I think divided government is good. I want to see, what the Republicans come up with. They've been talking about the deficit. I'll take them at their word. Let's see where they're going to start cutting
You're on the record now. You want a divided government.
I think
you want the Republicans to win.
We can't argue it's working now.
Goodness.
We can't argue it's working now.
Right.
I think it's terrible that the party can't come together and have a plan.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree that I want to see 2 distinct, but I'd like to see different ideas that are actually going to work.
And these, I mean, you take help from wherever you can get it.
Right.
The point is, if it's all Democrats cutting, Republicans not, we'd be against the Republicans. Well, I don't know if you would.
I can't be sure saying nice things about Democrats. I can't.
The Senate passing a $26 billion bailout to state and local governments just before it goes on vacation. New Yorkers are pretty happy, or at least they're in the State House in New York. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi calling back House members from recess to deal with what she says is a, quote, common sense solution for states and cities to address teacher layoffs and Medicaid bills. But if a bailout is coming, what's the incentive for states to do the right thing and cut? Sometimes you have to hit the gutter before you change your ways. I'm thinking that they're going to use this bailout and just keep doing what they do best.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in New York in the 70s, but I remember the famous headline, Ford to City Drop Dead. But it's... I think we have bailout fatigue. Frankly, we've heard this so many times that it's not really.
They don't have bailout fatigue.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see this story gain all that much traction because I think people just hear bailout and they tune it out.
But Kelly, I mean, this is a serious thing because we have all of these municipalities around the country that are going broke. They can't print money, unlike the federal government, so they will be forced to pay the price for their bad spending habits unless they're bailed out. We're encouraging them to do exactly the wrong thing here.
I agree with you. We're giving them relief. We're not making them figure out their own problems, to get their own spending in line, to have appropriate budgets, and then there is no incentive. So to go back to your first question, is there incentive when you know you're going to be bailed out? Absolutely not. Sit back and say, well, just dump it up.
That's right.
We've got so many states in this country that are hitting the wall. Their public finances are in an absolute catastrophic condition, whether it's California, Michigan, New York, their backs are against the wall. And as we just saw in New York, they just passed a very late budget in Albany that is a complete shambles. It's about raising taxes on New Yorkers that just can't pay any more taxes. And it's even about more spending. Why? Because they know that the feds that can print money are going to come in and rescue them.
And not a word, by the way, in that budget about cutting corruption, which is rampant throughout New York. We got to move on.
This is why we need more Chris Christies, governors that are willing to balance the budget.
Obama and daughter Sasha on a 5-day Spanish excursion full of 5-star hotel rooms, a private jet costing nearly $150,000 round trip for the trip. Some coining her a, quote, modern-day Marie Antoinette. Now, while it's not clear how much of the trip is coming out of the Obama's pockets as opposed to taxpayers, critics are pointing lavishness and choice to leave the United States for vacation as being a little out of touch. Kelly, that's my point, is that, you don't leave American tourism business hanging, when you're supposed to be helping Americans get out of this jam we're in.
Couldn't agree more. You need to stay in America, and you need to stop flaunting that the problems that society faces don't really apply to you. So if you want to take a trip with your daughter, you don't have to get in your car and drive 4 hours because you can't afford a plane trip. You and 70 of your closest friends are going to go to Spain on taxpayer dollars.
You know, they need downtime just like everybody else. They need a vacation time.
Of course.
I don't begrudge them that at all. But the fact is that you know, as first family, you got to set an example. And you don't fly away to Europe for a vacation when folks are starving here at home.
You have to watch the image that you're projecting. And here's where the hypocrisy comes in, David. This president has been railing against the rich.
Well,
this president has said that he would like to raise taxes, let the Bush tax cuts expire on the so-called rich. And now his wife has jetted off for this long weekend excursion with her daughter to one of the most lavish luxury resorts in the world.
$7,500 a night.
I'm
Marbella
sitting
in
here and I'm a little disappointed I didn't get an invite if there's 70 people going.
But the hypocrisy charge
and I
is one that the hypocrisy charge sticks like glue.
I don't think it's fair or appropriate to call the First Lady of the United States Marie Antoinette, but I think we're both, former political scholars, and I do think it's probably projecting the wrong PR message that they want to be sending at a time like this, but I'm not going to lose.
Which charge hurts the most? Leaving the United States when you should be at home, or the hypocrisy charge? I think it's the hypocrisy that hurts the most.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's both. You look at, the Gulf Coast. Maybe she did take a trip down there for sort of, meeting with business owners and things like that, but could have gone there.
Last word to Rod. Coming up on deck, the president. Time for buy, sell, or hold. We take the names and stories in the news, treat them as if they're stocks. Would you buy them, sell them, or hold them? Multnomah County in Oregon shutting down an enterprise last week for operating without a license. But get this. The entrepreneur was a lemonade stand run by 7-year-old Julie Murphy at an art fair. Now, the county said she failed to get this $120 temporary restaurant license for a lemonade stand. Shutting down Julie's lemonade stand. Is that a buy, sell, or hold? It's kind of an easy one.
But it's a very important lesson.
Come on.
As an entrepreneur,
as
an entrepreneur, you're going to be hassled by the government. You may as well learn early.
All right, but it's
shutting down a lemonade stand is nothing sacred in America anymore. Nothing is sacred.
Hey, she should have come up with $120. What's wrong with this little kid?
It's great for marketing.
Of course it's a sell. I'm kidding, folks. I'm kidding. Don't send in the emails. All right, Gisele Bundchen is famous for being the world's highest paid supermodel, and now she's trying her hand at being an expert on breastfeeding. The Brazilian beauty causing quite a stir after an interview with Harper's Bazaar, where she told a magazine that all women should be forced to breastfeed. She went on to criticize American women who don't breastfeed their babies. Gisele's breastfeeding advice: buy, sell, or hold.
Mind your own business.
There's a little bit of that going on here.
I didn't hear a word you said. I was still watching.
He's going to put a sell on there.
Oh, you're so easy. This is such a... Yes, MYOB, Gisele. This is coming from a woman who gains like 4 ounces while pregnant.
All right. Yeah, we're giving kind of easy ones tonight. It's a sell. And Scoreboard says it's a hold. Well, Scoreboard's wrong. Okay. Taxing the top 2%. They're a bunch of monkeys. Taxing the top 2% of the country. Is that a buy, sell, or hold? In this environment, is it a buy, sell, or hold? You for taxing the top 2%?
I am.
Okay.
Wow.
Warren Buffett can afford it.
Whoa, you guys.
Yes, but small businesses cannot. And if we want job creation, this is such a sell.
That's the point. And I say it's a sell at home. 95% if you voted sell, 3% voted buy, 2% voted hold. Well, Money Rocks starts right now. I saw you on that, Monica.
Yes, yesterday.
Don't be a stranger here, okay?
You know I love David Adams.
Meanwhile, Imus in the morning, and tomorrow night right here on Scoreboard, we got Brian Murphy. Now, he's a little-known candidate for Maryland governor. Just scored a huge Palin endorsement. That's tomorrow. We'll see you back.